What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP. This is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. What's going on, everybody? Hey. We just watched a banger movie, okay, that we're about to review. It's honestly, it's not that bad, okay? Josh, back me up on this.
Yeah, it was really good. I wasn't expecting to like it as much, if I'm being for real.
Yeah, like, honestly. But the movie that we're talking about right now is Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
We are gathered here today to say goodbye to Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots, you are down to your last life. You need to retire.
Without lives to spare, I am nothing.
When you only have one life, that's what makes it special.
This is gonna be fun.
Came out swinging, all right? Came out last year in 2022. Wound up getting a 95 certified fresh Rotten Tomato score, and a 94% audience score. So a lot of people loved this movie. Now, I was hearing a bunch of praises about it when it first came out. See, me, I've never been a fan of the Boots franchise. I seen the first one, and that one was kind of okay to me.
That's why the first one didn't really bite. So the second one takes a drastic turn.
Yeah, and it's the animation style is crazy. Honestly, though, the animation style to me is kind of like a drawback from that 3D animation they were doing before.
Yeah.
I think they made it work for this movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made it work. So we have pretty much a big cast in this one. Directed by Joel Crawford, okay? For those that don't know, he doesn't have a long line of movies, but he did make The Croods: A New Age, which came out in 2020, and that movie was actually pretty good. I don't know. It's the sequel to The Croods. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
I didn't see The Croods, no. Or I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, not a lot of credits for him, unfortunately, but it's okay. He did pretty good work with this one. This movie wound up making 177.2 million here in the U.S.
Pretty good
alone. Yeah, that's a pretty solid number. We got Antonio Banderas as Puss. We got Salma Hayek as Kitty Softpaws. Olivia Colman, Hervey Gillian, Samson Kayo, John Mulaney, Florence Pugh was in there. That's good build cast in my opinion. A lot of good actors in this one.
But wait, before you even think about starting, let's hear a word from our sponsor real quick, Zippy Stream.
Today's episode is sponsored by Zippy Stream. If you are wondering how we make money to run our podcast, it's all because of this innovative platform. Here at FilmBros Podcast, we absolutely love using Zippy Stream. It's the easiest way to convert listeners into an email list, but best of all, they find us sponsorship so we can keep making money doing what we love.
Suppose you're also a podcaster thinking about starting one. Zippy Stream will help you find and manage a relationship with brands that are relevant to your audience. If you want to learn more, contact us as soon as possible. Everyone that signs up this month will get to claim £10 as a joining bonus, which is around $12 or something like that.
Just reach out to us by email or social media DMs, and I'll put you in touch with the guys at Zippy Stream right away. Now back to the pod. Okay, I'd say off the top of my head, when I was done watching this movie, this shit was funny. This movie made me laugh so much. Not a lot of cartoon movies can make you laugh as hard as I feel like DreamWorks puts a lot of effort when it comes to their movies and their comedy. And when we were watching it, even Julia, she was asking me too. She was like, "Why?" Like there was a couple bleeps in the movie, and they were like she was like, "Why do they keep doing it?" I'm like, "Cause DreamWorks knows." They always had a hint of like adult humor in every single one of their movies, just so that they know their parents taking their kids to the movies. Yeah. They know they want a little humor in there too. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, it was a lot of those kind of like when you watch Disney movies now that were made back in the day, and you kind of hit them with the that was an adult joke.
Yeah.
it's cool being in the know, you know, like you get those jokes. But this movie was off bat. The thing that really drew me in was the comedy. Like as soon as the movie started, it was funny to the very end.
Yeah. The comedy did it for me. The comedy and the action really did it for me. A lot of it was very funny. I'm not sure. Some of the jokes did land. Yeah, I did like the dog and his. I mean, he was the one that was swearing. So spoiler alert, he was the one that was swearing. And it was funny because, he's supposed to be the happy dog, so he doesn't. Maybe it's because he has that mouth of just like a child that doesn't really know what he's saying.
Yeah,
but he could piece it together. So it was really funny. And then oh man, I like the action. Not like when he's spoiler alert, but when he's fighting the giant, that animation goes so hard. It was really good. And then every time he fought death, really good.
I love the animation. Everything was great. I think a drawback for me for the movie was a part of the animation, but they made it work. So it wasn't like a huge drawback. I'm just not a big fan of like anime, and I feel like this movie's animation was heavily inspired by anime.
Yeah, and you can see it in some elements when like he's running and stuff. It felt like it was a mix of the anime and then kind of what they did with Into the Spider-Verse, where like looked comic booky almost.
Yeah,
like I really liked that.
Yeah, it was a cool little change up to the animation, but I for some reason I still like love that whole 3D animation, everything looking clean and everything. The animation was solid. I mean, obviously this movie came out honestly almost a decade or about a decade since the first one. The first one came out in 2011. So like it's been a minute since we've seen the Shrek franchise in general. So I'm sure that they were probably saving money on the budget by doing the animation this way. But I can say that it was executed well, in my opinion. They did a really good job with the way they executed the animation. Also, the actors. The actors were cool. Now, Antonio Banderas was solid, but man, has Salma Hayek aged? I don't know. When I was hearing her talk, she sounded so old. I was just like, damn, like it didn't sound like how she used to sound.
Really? I don't know. I don't think I noticed that.
No, I was listening to it and I was like, Antonio Banderas still sounds the same. Like he sounds like Puss in Boots, but Salma Hayek, like I was thinking to myself, like they probably got somebody that sound like her, kind of like what they did with Adam Sandler in Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
But I looked it up and we're talking about it right now too, and it's actually Salma Hayek. So I don't know, maybe that was just something for me because I heard her when she was younger and I heard her when she first played Kitty Softpaws in Puss in Boots. So yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't really notice that. The voice actor to throw me off, honestly, was John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Him playing, what was his character's name? The thumb dude. What was his name?
He was. What was his name? I'm trying to find him one more time. Why is he not so like? Oh, here he is. Jack Horner. That was him.
Jack Horner. Okay, yeah. See, I don't know. Like he does good with what he has and stuff, but I think the voice just it doesn't work. Maybe it's because of the character build or something like that.
I think that was the point, though. I think that was the funny part for me.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was the point because when they showed that flashback when he was like spoiler. So this might be a spoiler review. There was a scene where like they had a little flashback of him where he was, happy and, dancing and everything. And that voice fit that body. So I think because he got heartbroken and everything and, he basically missed out because of the puppet, like he got jacked and was like, I'm not going to be that. So I think that was just part of the joke. Like it made it funny for me because I was like, wow, like he's literally just got built just so he can do what he's doing. It was stupid.
I actually really liked seeing all the hints of the Shrek movies. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't trying to be standalone-ish, like its own separate thing. Like they really did try to connect to the whole main universe, which I really liked. Seeing Pinocchio and then seeing Jiminy Cricket, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was something that I was about to bring up Jiminy Cricket, but that was one thing I liked too, the sprinkling in of Shrek characters, because even at the end, they wound up heading to far, far away.
Yeah.
So it was I liked that because it showed that it was connected to everybody still, and they were still in that universe, but also being able to tell this singular story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but having them in there kind of like made me think a little bit more, because there was a rumor that they were making a new Shrek movie.
Yeah.
I think this was kind of like their way of easing them back into our lives again, if that makes sense.
Probably. It makes sense, especially if they're going the route with like this animation style. It could be really cool. Good to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think everybody did their thing as far as, voice acting. But another comedy-driven thing for me was the Jiminy Cricket. Like, when he was like, oh, do you really want to just let them all die? He's like, well, I could just get more. And I was just like, he was just like, oh my God. The scene where he's like, you're just pure evil. Just like, oh my God. I don't know. The comedy in this movie is undefeated. This shit was funny, too funny.
Yeah, involving Jiminy Cricket was really funny. That part where he's just like, you're a monster. He's like, duh, I'm trying to tell you. He like flicks him off his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, really funny. Damn. I really liked the serious moments in this movie, just because.
He's not Jiminy Cricket in this one, because Jiminy Cricket is owned by Disney. He's Ethical Bug.
Oh.
That's his name in this one.
Wait, what? What? I mean, isn't like Sleeping Beauty and all them in the universe? Why wouldn't it be Jiminy Cricket?
Well, okay, well, that's where the whole mythical tales come in. So Disney owns certain characters because they, like Thor. Thor is a mythical tale, so somebody else can tell Thor in their own way, but it cannot be related to the MCU and look like the MCU Thor or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's just all about those boundary lines, because everything is up for fair play if you're able to not blatantly rip it off.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's what.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so because he's called, that's funny too. He's called Ethical Bug in this one.
Okay. Well, we know it's supposed to be Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Really, he came very funny. But what I was saying was the serious moments. A lot of if you haven't seen the movie, quick synopsis: Puss. It's not a big spoiler. Puss comes down to his last life. He's trying to, he's trying to live his single life, and Death, the wolf, shows up and is trying to claim it and stuff. None of them too heavy into the spoilers territory with that synopsis, but that's basically the story of it. I really like Death. Death was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
He was actually really chilling.
Yeah.
Honestly, like every single time he was on there, and I did a rewatch of it too. And he actually was in certain scenes.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta do a rewatch.
Yeah, if you do a rewatch, you'll be able to point it out. But he was actually in certain scenes, and I think that just built another layer. I was just like, damn, they really did think it out. It wasn't like all of a sudden revealed. No, like they subtly put him in there.
Yeah, because I mean, somewhere in the movie, he says like, "Oh, I was there at every death, but you laugh at me or whatever, so you didn't even notice or something like that." So I mean, if he is in there and I got to rewatch, then cool. But I really liked how menacing they made him. Like I was seeing everyone on TikTok talking about it, and I did see certain clips. Nothing too heavy spoiler. But, I mean, when the movie came out, I wasn't planning to watch it. I was waiting for streaming pretty much.
Yeah, me too.
But, dang, I really wish I did get to experience it in theaters, because to see Death would have been chilling for real.
Yeah, and hearing that whistle in theaters, wow,
Yeah.
dude, that would have been crazy.
Seeing,
and the fight scenes on the big screen would have been insane.
Seeing him, seeing him come after Puss was so interesting to me. I like that they showed that he does have fear and anxiety, not because it is his last life and stuff, and he's just trying to preserve it best he can. But to have someone that predatorial come after him, especially in the shape of a wolf of all things, like they eat cats, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they eat shit like that. So for him to just be like, so chilling and menacing toward him was really cool. And then he's like, my favorite scene of his was he's just like, I'm death, straight up, not metaphorically, not rhetorically or whatever, like for real. And then, damn, really good shit.
Yeah, the fight scenes between him and the way he was like, kicking his sword towards him after he Puss dropped it, and like just him just doing whatever toying with him because he knows he's scared. Like that shit was, I was like, man, that's I know it's been done before, but like the way they executed and made his hairs raise up when he was scared, and just like you really felt the fear, and they did a really really good job with him as a
psychological warfare he was playing was really good.
Yeah, no, too good. So we've talked about obviously the anime style. We talked about the cast, the characters. What is some stuff that didn't sit right with you in this movie?
It wasn't much. I really did like most of it. I think it's just Jack Horner and Mulaney. His character to me it was fun watching him, and it was kind of funny here and there, but his whole character I couldn't get behind. I also didn't really like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Like I like them as like characters, but their whole dilemma and like her trying to like one up them, and basically like the way that she was constantly like on the baby bear's neck. I was like, damn, get off, dog. Like, what's stopping him from chewing your ass up? You know what I mean? Like
the mama bear, right? But on that, I will say I think Florence Pugh was probably miscasted in this one.
Really?
Yeah, I wish they probably got somebody a little bit more. When she was on screen, like I don't know, her voice didn't really hit for me, if that makes sense. And I like Florence Pugh. I was thinking that it was gonna be somebody with more of a spry voice, where hers was more like of a Scottish, yeah. And I don't mind Scottish, but like I was expecting more like a heavier Scottish voice, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know, because I didn't notice it was Florence till the credits rolled by.
Oh.
I guess she did fine, because she was able to like subvert me, and I thought it was someone else, but I guess it was just the in-story dynamic between them where I was like, damn, bro, like. And then she eventually grows, which I did like. She's like, oh yeah, I won the. What is it? She says about the dog that she won the orphan lottery or something like that. So good that she actually grows and stuff, but throughout the whole movie, the whole time I thought she was kind of annoying when she was like arguing with Baby.
Yeah. And I will say that ending was kind of clunky to me. I mean, it flowed good, the emotional scenes and everything, but I just didn't like how it was Death and Mulaney's character who was, trying to get him, and then like once he dealt with Death, then it was Mulaney. Oh, it was first Mulaney, then it was Goldilocks, and then it was Mulaney, then it was Goldilocks, and then it went to Mulaney again, and then it went to Death, and then here and there, and then back, and then towards the end, that last act, Mulaney first, then Death, he beats Death, and then Mulaney comes back, and then he got to beat him too. And I mean, Goldilocks and them are friends now, but I would say I kind of felt like with all those, I guess it was smart that they kicked her out from that running, but like, did they really do anything to make her not hate them? You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like they were just like, oh yeah, no, they're friends now. You know what I mean?
I actually like that they were all fighting for the wish toward the end. What I was hoping they did, because I mean, I thought it was gonna be over once. A spoiler for the ending of Puss in Boots, Last Wish, but when he falls into the bag, I thought that was it for John Horner, or for Jack Horner. I was gonna be like, all right, big bad done. It's just the final fight between Death and Puss to show him that he's not scared of him and whatever, and he'll see him when he sees him again.
Yeah.
Which I like that ending fight scene, but for him to leave, I thought that would have been the perfect ending, and then Puss and then just be like, I don't need the wish anyway, and rip it up. I didn't really like that he comes back out of the bag and he's fucking huge, and it's kind of like an MCU fight where like you have one big bad now and you gotta take him down with friendship and stuff. And I'm like, well, I would have been fine if he just stayed in the bag.
You know what? You breaking it down like that? That's exactly what happened, and that's what I was thinking too. That he was just gonna stay in the bag. Now I know they set it up because they put the cookies in there earlier, and they were hinting at it for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was the thing. I thought he was done when he went in that bag. I thought, okay, yeah, they fucking beat him. They're gonna take him out. Maybe set up a sequel or something with him or whatever. But like, nah, for them to be like, okay, you gotta defeat death, and then, oh, here's this other one. I was like, yeah, no, like it should have just been done with death, and him resolving it, and they could have ended happily ever after the way they did, and it would. I thought it would have flowed better, but I think it was just that last two fights that bothered me.
Yeah. Because I mean, all of it comes resolved pretty much before Death shows up. Like Goldilocks and the bears make up. She's like, yeah, I got the family I wanted, whatever. And then Death fights. He loses. He's like, all right, respect to you. I'll see you when I see you. And then Jack Horner could have stayed in the bag, but him just coming up was a little done. I feel like they were just like, well, we need something to wrap this up to show that they actually are working together now. And so if they can't have the wish, no one can type deal.
Yeah, no, and I get that. That's exactly what I felt. I couldn't really comprehend why I didn't like it, but you putting it like that, I think that's exactly the reason why. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I don't think there's much complaints about this movie. I think the animation was solid. The cinematography was cool. What else can be with this movie?
I mean, not much to dislike. There's a reason why people like it so much. It flows well. Like all the story doesn't feel fast or anything like that. It's for me, it's just the ending. But we pretty much ran through it, bro. I'm gonna talk about my favorite scenes now because
go for it.
I liked when Puss is in the glass, or I guess it's glass, but I don't know what they called it, where he's stuck in that glass thing and he sees his past lives or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they're all like, man, like you're not the legend, like, and then they start singing the song and stuff, and then Death shows up, and he's like, sorry to ruin your parade or whatever, and he starts knocking them down one by one.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that whole scene, and then Death putting it into perspective where he's like, I still have my one life, and then he's just like, well, I don't like cats because 9 lives is crazy, and for you to waste them like you did, let me do you a favor and just take this one anyway. And then like his whole motivation laid out then and there, and Puss is just like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because he was like, that's cheating, and he's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna take that fucking life from you. I'm like, damn, bro, like Death is crazy. Yeah, that scene was cool. That I'm telling you, Death was just a force.
Yeah, he was on one, dude.
I do like how they made Kitty Soft Paws and Puss, Salma Hayek's and Antonio Banderas' characters, because that romance between them, I know in the first one they were building towards that, and I thought that they were going to be married in this one, so it was a good explanation on what happened. I thought that little element that he not only squandered his lives, but also squandered his greater grand scheme life, which was him marrying the girl that he loved. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, I was just like, damn, bro, like, on top of you wasting all your lives, you didn't even want to get the girl. I was like, man, that they added so many layers in this movie. It was just, I was just more shocked that they did all this for a kids movie. I was just like, is this for kids, or were you talking to the adults that need to come back?
It was straight subliminal.
They're like, oh, we've been on hiatus for 10 years, but we got y'all 90s babies, bro.
Yeah, so like real subliminal stuff going on. Like, I mean, obviously the more aggressive ones are Death and stuff, and then, I mean, Greed with Jack Horner. One of my favorite things was how many mystical items were in this movie, and you could really, if you know what you're looking for, you can really point them out. Like when they're like, oh, you said our weight in gold, and he showed the little golden touch thing, because that was the king or whatever, that he could touch anything and turn to gold.
Yeah,
he had his hand, and then the sister touches it, and she turns to gold. And I was like, I recognize that from an old fairy tale that I read in high school. You know what I mean?
And there was a few nods to the magic that was shown in Shrek 2
Yeah.
that was in there as well.
Those potions.
The cookies are obviously from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Like it was cool that they did all the fairy tales and connected it this way, because it showed that they were like still in the game of submerging you within these mythical tales. You know what I mean? Because the first Shrek loosely followed it, but they did what they did. They really doubled down on it in Shrek 2.
Yeah.
Love the scenes. Get him with the pepper. His pepper, whatever. I was like, damn, bro. Shrek 3 leaned in it even more, and I don't know what happened with 4, but I think they retracted a little bit, but they still kept to the mystical part, but they didn't showcase it as much in that one. So seeing them bring it back and actually merge the two, and honestly, one thing that kind of really cemented this movie for me too is the opening credits, that DreamWorks logo, like the new title card that they have with everybody. I was like,
you get and they pass by Shrek and everything.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, good to see that. Yeah, I was like, damn, really throwing it back. One of my other favorite parts, which actually involved Jack Horner, now that I think about it, the scene where he has the sword, King Arthur's sword, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I got his sword, but I couldn't get the stone out. Homie cheated.
That shit cracked me up. And then when the cricket or the ethical bug was like, oh my god, that's a phoenix. One of the mystical creatures. He's like, flamethrower. I was like, what the fuck? I was just like, dude, he has no respect for this kind of stuff. And they really leaned in on that, and I thought it was.
He was just like, watch where I'm throwing my flames.
Yeah, I was like, man.
He was going in.
No, this movie was too good. Like I said, funny from start to finish. I honestly, and then when the sad moments hit when Goldilocks told the bears I want my own family. I was just like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're a bitch. I was like, that's so fucked up. I was like, I like how they stick to all the mythical stuff too. Like there was so much, but this movie was just fantastic. Any more great parts for you?
Damn, the beginning. I like the song. He's like the fearless hero. Or whatever. Yeah, that was. I really like that.
Yeah, that scene where he's like, I'll try to save you, kid. He's like, help me. He's like, I'll try to get to you. I'm like, man. Okay, so yeah, he is he's just one of those heroes that chooses to do when he wants to, and it's cool. I like it. It's a pretty good movie. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, out right now. It's actually on Peacock. I know we spoiled a few things, but hey, it's worth a watch. There's still a bunch in that movie that we haven't discussed. Like I said, there's so much to not pick at that. I mean, I honestly can't even give this a bad review. I can't really say there was so much bad stuff besides maybe the anime aspect. If you guys don't really like anime, it's not heavy with it, but it's peppered in a good amount.
Yeah, if you're an anime fan, kind of like with Creed 3, I don't know if for those who have seen it, you can kind of pinpoint where Michael B. Jordan gets his inspiration. You can kind of do that with this movie. You kind of for example, when he's running on those buildings, and he's heading toward the giant pretty much, and then he's running. That looks straight inspired from Attack on Titan. So I mean, you get those elements where you're kind of like, well, I know where that's from if you watch anime.
Yeah, but I mean, I personally don't really like anime so much, but to be honest, the way, and maybe this is just the newer wave of anime, I think it's becoming more smoother, more seamless. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what's really drawing attention a lot more. Everybody loves old anime, but nowadays anime, if it's done right, I think it could attract a big wide of audience. I mean, this movie attracted me, and I'm not really a big anime fan, so
yeah, maybe definitely animation style has changed. You can tell when an anime you're watching is from the 90s or whatever. So I mean, if that's the case, then I mean, we might be getting new fans, which is cool.
Yeah. So, Puss in Boots: Last Wish out on Peacock right now. If there's a movie that you guys want us to review, anything on this pod that you want us to discuss that maybe we haven't talked about just yet, Josh, go ahead and let them know where they can let us know.
FilmBros Podcast, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You can hit us up. We post when new episodes are there. And again, yeah, you can let us know for any movies you want us to review. We watch a lot, so we just pick one and we can totally do it. If you want to listen to us on the go, Spotify and Apple Podcast at FilmBros Podcast. If you want to support us in a big way, Zippy Stream at FilmBros Podcast. All it takes is name and email. You get our full catalog. The email, sign up. You get hints when new episodes drop. And you can talk to us directly if you'd like to do that. And if you want to subscribe to our YouTube, which would be great also, at FilmBros Podcast.
Yes. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that. You don't want to miss it. We got more moves coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.